New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Hello, there we go. Welcome to Season 17, episode number 3688. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. Watch out today. If you can't beat them, join them. Songs about rain on a Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Like clap.
All right, here we go. Canadian man arrested after dressing in black and waving a sword at people down by the river. Meanwhile, Maryland State Police are investigating a challenge coin depicting where a baby one would deliver. Man on motorized unicycle crashing into recycling truck is the most San Francisco story ever. Would I return the $36,000 I found in a free couch? The answer is never. And a fish in Thailand attempts to kill a spear fisherman because paybacks. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, the average flight from New York City to Rome, Italy. Any guesses? We're bored in New York City. We're flying direct to Rome.
8.5 hours.
Damn, Ted nailed it. 8 hours, 25 minutes. But I ain't going to split hairs. 8.5 hours. And let's face it, that is the kind of flight where no one blames you if you want to take a long nap. Unless you're the pilot. Or worse, when both on-duty pilots are asleep at the wheel. Or the yoke, as it were. That happened earlier this week. Luckily, both pilots woke up just before France scrambled fighters to shoot their sleepy asses down. Now, for their part, the pilots say, no, man, we weren't asleep. It's just that, our radio wasn't working. That's it. Our radio wasn't working. Okay. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, a man confirmed what we all assumed to be true, which is falling asleep behind the wheel of a moving vehicle. Bad idea. Who knew? He affirmed this truth when he fell asleep, flipped his pickup truck, and then ejected himself through the windshield. And then there are those places and times when falling asleep isn't the worst thing you can do, but you'll never live it down. A few weeks ago, during the NBA's Eastern Conference semifinals between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat, well, a lot of the in-game and post-game coverage revolved around a guy named David Kelleher. You see, in the waning seconds of the third quarter, David appeared on the television coverage. And there he was on screen, sitting courtside, mouth hanging open, eyes closed, dead asleep. He instantly became a meme and a Twitter celebrity. And then there's those people that fall asleep through no fault of their own. We're talking about people that are in a coma. Well, we have a list of 15 songs that woke people up from a coma. So I would tell you to come for the Gangnam Style, stay for the rolling in the deep. Today, we're talking about sleep, and not the sleep that you have in your bed, the sleep where you woke up and you realize, man, oh man, I probably shouldn't have been asleep. It's happened to all of us, and here's the worst news. It's going to happen again. So today, we want to know, where and when did you fall asleep?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
New on Curiosity Stream.
With my infrared drone, I can see what others can't.
Drone pilot Doug Thron uses his bird's eye view for the ultimate good, saving animals from desperate situations around the globe. Join the rescue effort on a new season of Doug to the Rescue. And
You captured a Confederate steamboat?
We're taking the ship to freedom.
an enslaved crew, a stolen vessel, and a Civil War dash to salvation on impossible escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
To the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hello, Michelle's, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3688. Yeah, we're large and in charge today. Guaranteed future repeat. That is a fact. The exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. Man, oh man, were we up late last night. What a crazy night coming up with tongue twisters for Ted. Ted versus the FCC.
Every Thursday night, we work hard, man. It's what we do.
But we came in today, and we get one here from a listener named Dylan. And Dylan sent us an FCC for Ted. And as we say, listener always comes first. Dylan's Ted versus the FCC is about Pete's prickly pickled pepper.
Oh, yeah, the prickly pickled peppers.
Yes, that Rick picks every once in a while. So that's
Pickle Rick.
Yeah, with Ted versus the FCC.
Pickle Rick.
That's pretty exciing. Oh, what else we got for you today? We'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. Then right after that, it is Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Come on. And on our Bad Choice Friday, remember last week we were getting kind of kicking off the unofficial beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Good times, 3-day weekend. You know, we played some sunshine songs. That was awesome. And we still live here. So we've just said to hell with it. This is the reality of the situation. If you can't beat them, join them. So rain-inspired songs on a Bad Choice Friday featuring the one and only BJ Thomas.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems.
I feel like he's the guy I get stuck sitting next to on a long flight.
Oh, no, on a train.
Yeah, this is the guy for the train.
This is the guy on the train. He's got suspenders.
Yeah, rainbow suspenders.
Yeah.
He's got suspenders, but he's never owned a chainsaw.
Big jolly smile.
No, he's got a beard.
And that's all. If he keeps playing his ukulele, I'm going to break it off in his ass.
He has homemade brandy.
That is a quote.
In December, he's staying at the mall.
Oh, yeah, that's a personal story.
No kidding.
Yeah. Oh, no, that truly happened.
Actually happened. He almost killed the guy.
That really did happen.
On a train.
He wouldn't stop playing the ukulele.
He walked up to him and was going to kill him. He's going to bash it over his head like an animal.
I wasn't going to bash it over his head. I said I'm going to break it off in your ass.
That's what
Why
you
is
told him.
ukulele guy like worse than guitar guy as far as just assuming that everybody's
Because
okay
you
with him playing?
can't play a good song on ukulele. Let me rephrase that. You can play a good song on ukulele, it's still going to sound stupid. And we would walk back to this car, and everyone in the car
had an agitated look on
their face. They were exasperated. So
you know, things that are supposed to sound happy don't make you happy?
Yes.
It's like that.
He was that guy.
BJ Thomas and Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Take it on the Weather Girls.
It's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men.
Let's go.
How did you think about what month it was? The song.
Yeah, Pride Month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's raining.
This would actually be a tragedy if it
and
rained.
Black Music Month.
Oh, there you go. We're covering it all.
There you got it all.
Holy hell. We just fulfilled our EOE for the month.
You got something for Mike and I?
Well, Paul Schaefer wrote this, if that helps.
It's National Donut Day.
And Egg Day.
Yeah.
So the Weather Girls and Training Man taking on BJ Thomas, and raindrops keep falling on my head on a Bad Choice Friday. How do you vote? Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. The poll's up there, and one of those two tunes coming up right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day. And of course, we'll head on over to the Men's Room Happy Hour as we do every Monday through Friday at 6. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It is absolutely free. Search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. Once you get there, favorite that, and then at 6 o'clock, we'll go live and give you more Men's Room in a kind of an adult way. Keep in mind, the same rules that apply to the airwaves that we're normally on don't apply there. So we can cuss there and get into a little bit more topics that are a little bit more risque. So as it says on the channel, explicit. So keep that in mind when you're listening. And today, we're going to just simply ask you, where and when did you fall asleep? Now, I'm not sure if this is really a scary situation or not, depending on how you would look at it. I realize it's not protocol, but we start with the friendly skies. An incident occurred on May 1st on board ITA Airwaves, operating from New York to Rome, Italy. The flight was operated by an A330 with a registration, blah, blah, blah. While mostly uneventful, they say, a strange period of silence in the cockpit occurred for roughly 10 minutes toward the end of the flight, as the plane was about 38,000 feet over France. Repeated calls for Marseille control went unanswered. Or Marseille.
Marseille.
Mm-hmm. With Italian media reporting both the captain and first officer were fast asleep. Airways Magazine, which I'm sorry if your subscription ran out, but I'm updating you, reports the first officer was approved to sleep under a procedure known as controlled rest.
All right.
Short sleep opportunities, however. The captain was not approved to sleep at the time. As French authorities prepared to dispatch a pair of fighter jets to intercept the Airbus and ensure that there was no trouble on board, the pilots woke up. The aircraft proceeded without further incident to Rome and safely landed there, according to media authorities. So the two pilots fell asleep somewhere over France.
Well, see, now you say whether or not it's scary, and I know there's autopilot and all this. Well, I assume someone has to land it, but beyond that, the thing the passengers don't know is you're over French airspace. It's an Airbus. You're not communicating back with them. You're going slightly off the flight pattern. So, yeah, they were just about to scramble to shoot your ass down.
Or just to look into the cockpit and see what the situation was. Is there someone else in the cockpit?
All right, but I'm a pilot, all right? So we're in the scramblers. You and I, we're Top Gunning it. And we can see into the cockpit of this Airbus. And it's like, man, they're both asleep, but are they asleep? Have they been incapacitated? Have they been We don't know. And it's not like you honk your plane horn to see if you can wake them up. You're trying to call them on the radio. They're not waking up. Man, I'm saying in the end, we shoot their ass down.
Sure. Well, probably.
If there's no response, because we don't know what's wrong with the pilots if they're not waking up still. We're just visually looking at them. I go, hey, man, somebody's incapacitated, and we're taking this bitch out.
Well, we would never know that story, I bet.
We might not know the story, or the story would be fed you a different way. That there was a direct threat.
Correct.
But I'm saying, if you had to make the call, I'm like, shoot it down. If you're not responding, and we have visual confirmation, because again, I don't know if the pilots have been incapacitated. We've been trying to reach them through the radio for 10 minutes.
I don't think that's one you could work through for the rest of your life if you are a fighter pilot. The knowledge that you took down a commercial airline plane with 140 people on it. I don't think you could. I think you'd have a tough time waking up the next day.
There are some Russian fighter pilots you could ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've done it like 4 times in the last 10 years.
No big deal.
The first one's kind of weird. After that,
I mean, I think you just let it drift for a while.
With the plane?
Yeah.
But how long do you give it, right? As it worked out, these guys, they woke up in 10 minutes, but say 20 minutes goes by. Like, how long do we let this thing fly? Because somebody has to make a decision.
I think also it would depend on where you are.
Well, yeah, you can't shoot it down over a city or anything, but...
Right.
Somewhere over France.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can take it down on land. You just don't want to be over a super populated area.
Exactly.
Right. You don't want to be over a city.
Right. Yeah, I'm making that call. Sorry. I mean, that's where you're not playing.
We go to Beaver County, Oklahoma, where a Perryton man is in critical condition, but he is alive after police said he was ejected in a rollover crash in Beaver County, Oklahoma. According to the Highway Patrol, Thomas Tingaguar, 29, he was headed southbound on US 83 when he fell asleep at 3 a.m. His Toyota pickup rolled approximately 1.5 times. He was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from his truck.
Yeah.
But he's alive, and he was transported to a hospital in Northwest Texas, in Amarillo. So he's still alive. But have you ever almost fallen asleep at the wheel?
I've almost fallen asleep at the wheel, sure.
Twice for me.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, if you've driven, you've almost fallen. Maybe you have actually fallen asleep at the wheel. It's it's inevitable, right?
That's why the rumble strips are on the side of the road. That is why
That
they are
is
there.
why they're there. Yeah, exactly.
There's one reason for those to be there. And the
Didn't
more
you
get
slam into the back of a truck? Or your buddy at the back of a truck, right?
He did
went
drive
under
into
the truck.
Correct. He went underneath an 18-wheeler.
Because you went to sleep.
He had to have been kind of groggy at that point, I think, because he basically merged off of an on-ramp. He was going on. He was getting onto the interstate.
All right.
And he drove underneath the 18-wheeler.
Jesus.
So he either didn't see it, and then he got caught up underneath it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a cousin. He was just driving to work. I mean, he's fine. But yeah, same thing. Like, just driving to work at like 5 a.m, just dozed off. And then when the highway went left, he went straight into the woods.
Damn. And he was okay.
Yeah, I mean, this was years ago, but yeah, I mean, right. They were like, what happened? And he's not like a party or anything. He's like, I just fell asleep.
Just tired.
Yeah.
I guess.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
It is scary, though, when you kind of doze off and you realize you're driving.
Man,
you're like,
yeah.
it's like, all right, I got to pull over right now. Yeah.
The windows are down.
I already had the Mountain Dew. I already had the window down. Like, I'm already at the point where I know I am pushing it at this point.
Correct.
So it's kind of like you're already there.
Before we get to the calls, this comment comes in. It says, 20 years old in Palo Alto, California. Santa Clara Court. First time on a jury. Got wrecked the night before, hung over big time, fell asleep during the trial. Never called back for jury duty.
Ooh, that's a good way to get out.
Yeah, that's bad.
Maybe you just fake like you're falling asleep.
It really depends on the case. You know, like you get people to get like O.J. Simpson. You go like, I'm staying awake for this. This is crazy. But most of the court cases, like, man,
if it's entertaining,
this is a snooze fest. Hello, Chrissy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichulas.
Hola.
Blackjack and hookers, bitches.
Positive Friday.
It is Positive Friday. Okay, so check this out. Check this out, guys. So, this is about, 10, 12 years ago. I moved out of Florida. When I was in high school, I was in, like, one of those tech programs, that, like, you do, like, I was doing culinary arts. So that was my thing. So I ended up getting a bunch of scholarships and stuff and ended up getting offered a job at Disney World. So I moved down there, and I was working at Disney World in the professional kitchen for like 6-7 months. And I had all these scholarships, and one of them happened to be a full ride to Orlando Culinary Academy. So I'm like, what the hell? I'll just take it. And so I signed up for school there. First quarter, absolutely aced it. I was the only person that got an A in my class, which was pretty cool. Second quarter was like safety and sanitation. The most boring thing I had ever done in my life. And I had been cooking already at the time for like 5 years. So like they really weren't teaching me anything that I didn't already know. And so like day by day, so I started work at 2, right? Which doesn't sound so bad. I started work at 2 in the afternoon, but usually we worked like 5 or 6 12s. Right. And I had to be at school 5 days a week, and school started at 7 in the morning. So you're working from 2 to 2, and then I started going to school at 7 in the morning until noon. And so I was exhausted. And so this safety and sanitation class was just putting me to sleep. And so I would just like jiggle around and be really weird and like jittery because I was trying to keep myself awake to like pay attention to the teacher, because she sounded like a really quiet vacuum when she would talk. Like it was so boring. And so one day I'm sitting there and I got like my elbow on the desk and my hand on my chin, and I just dozed off, and my face just straight up slammed into the desk. And like I woke up straight up, I slammed my face into something. And then she asked me to leave. And so that's when I decided to drop out of culinary school.
Wait, you dropped out of culinary school because you fell asleep. And to be fair, I cooked to the sanitation stuff. It is boring. But at least fight to say. So you dropped out of culinary school because that class was so boring.
It was so boring, Thrill.
So what do you do now?
I'm a welder. I'm actually a structural welder, and I'm the foreman at my shop.
Okay, and you can cook a bean dinner.
Oh, yeah.
What's your best meal? You invite us over for dinner. What are you cooking us?
Mickey Mouse pancakes.
Oh, Yeah, I know. I've cooked Mickey Mouse pancakes. I don't know. What do you like? What's your favorite thing?
I want Mickey Mouse pancakes.
I want a meat.
I'll cook you some Mickey Mouse pancakes.
Hold on, Ted has a request.
I want a meat and 2 veg.
Okay. Do you like venison?
Sure, a little wild game.
Yeah. How about a grilled venison loin with maybe some sweet potatoes and parsnips roasted? I know, Thrill's cringing right now.
Well, you like sweet potatoes.
It's almost like you have a camera in this studio, because once you said parsnips, I'm like, wow.
Can you just do 3 meats?
No, you nailed that. That is exactly what I did when you said parsnip. What about I just want lasagna, but I want chorizo for the meat.
Okay.
All right.
You got it.
No veg. See, I make it easy.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm in. That sounded pretty good. Sweet potatoes, parsnips.
I was fine until parsnips.
Yeah.
Is that how you order food when your friends ask what you want when you're coming over? 1 meat, 2 veggies?
Yeah, right.
It's a term I stole from this crappy Irish comedy I watch. A meat and 2 veg.
You should just start saying that at a restaurant.
What do you want? Meat and 2 veg.
It's going to be meat and 2 veg.
Yeah.
You go right back into conversation.
Surprise me. Whenever you think.
The whole joke on that show is it's like his ex-girlfriends. He shows up, he's been drinking all day, and he's absolutely hammered. And she's like, how are you drunk? And he's like, what are your parents doing here? You invited me over for a meat and 2 veg. I thought it was a meat and 2 veg.
Oh, Jesus. Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Boom, bitches.
Hola.
All right, dude. Simple, short. So this is back in, I'm pushing 40 now, so it's 2003. I was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia on Sand Hill, where they do the infantry school there. And I was about 2/3 way through my training to graduate infantry school, and we had came back from a field training exercise. And I sat down in a stall. After we got upstairs, it's basically clean up and go to chow for dinner chow. We were able to make it back to hit dinner chow in the dining facility, and went up, got in the stall, dropped chow, passed out from exhaustion.
Ooh.
So the funny part is, I don't know what woke me up. I'm pretty sure it's the last boot going downstairs for chow, because I woke up like, oh my God, I can't hear anything. And when I tried to move, both my legs were gone.
Because they fall asleep because you've been sitting on the toilet for so long.
Absolutely. Which was so long, was probably about 15 minutes. And I managed to army crawl on a low crawl, so like chin dragging the ground.
This is on the bathroom floor, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is in a army bathroom in a barracks in
Georgia.
School in Georgia. And it's about, I'd compare it to like if you're on a 3rd-story apartment. I had to go down 3 flights of stairs as a low crawl while I'm trying to pull up my drawers. And for some miracle of God, I made only one of the soldiers noticed me coming in late to formation, but I made formation by low crawling down those stairs. If I would have got caught, because it was, it's a platoon formation, it's 4 platoons to a company, the whole company would have got smoked.
Oh, really?
Screwed. Oh, absolutely. Everyone, we would have been screwed for the rest of the night. But luckily, my low crawling through the latrine, down 3 sets of stairs, and pulling up my trousers and making it to formation. So I went out unscathed, and so did everyone else. But
damn. But Justin, I'm going to tell you this. I do not envy you. Not in any nothing about that story would I want any part of.
Thank God they didn't act that way in Boy Scouts, Mike. There were so many slackers.
Yeah.
We've been doing nothing but push-ups and crap forever. Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick, they even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of it, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question on this Positive Friday, where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
I like this one. It says, I fell asleep in the delivery room after the birth of my child. I'd been up for almost 72 hours straight. My wife was in pain. She needed me to get the nurse for her, but I wouldn't wake up. She's throwing things at me and screaming. I slept through all of it. That's a nice way to start off parenthood.
It is really hard to sleep in a hospital room in a chair.
I think I slept for about a total of 2 hours. And it was, right, it's after the birth of the kid and all that. But, man, I don't know. You're so alert, especially with the first kid, because, I don't know, your world's weird. Then this one says, if you have a love of Shakespeare, I'm not your guy. I got kicked out of class 3 days in a row back in high school for falling asleep watching Macbeth. I woke up one time and just blurted out, oh, snap, that's Magneto, because we watched the Ian McKellen version.
Look, man, if you're going to catch some Z's and you're not bothering anybody, just leave kids alone.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. If you're watching a movie,
are you going to go home and watch this version? Here it is. Look it up. It's probably on YouTube. Please complete the assignment, and if you don't, I'll know and you'll fail.
We used to have a kid named Stephen.
Wait, he fell asleep during class, right? And then woke up and was like, it's Magneto.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't play it great, but again, I would just argue, like, look, you can have disruptive kids, kids asleep, during a movie. But we had a kid named Stephen Hall, and because of his name, he and I were in almost every class together, so did all this crap alphabetically. It was in high school. He's one of those kids that would fall asleep. If we had, 8 different periods? He'd fall asleep in 5 classes, but he was so disruptive, the teachers would let him sleep every time.
So I went to high school with a kid that fell asleep constantly.
All right.
Right. But the teachers were trying to teach. There was always like an issue with this kid. I remember even to the point, like, you're tired, but like he was always like falling asleep. And we were like, what is going on? And then a group of us went to a Wizards game. Right. And we realized he was one of the kids behind the teenagers behind the bench that would like put the towel on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turns out he was just working at an arena until like 11:30 every night.
Oh, damn. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So he had a good excuse.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, I used to have a little bit of a heroin problem, and so I smoked some heroin or whatever, and I had to go somewhere. So I got in my vehicle and took off, and probably on numerous occasions would notice people honking at me as I'm just kind of slowly slowing down, and the traffic is starting to pass me. And the worst part is I was driving a motorcycle.
Oh no. Jesus, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I've never done heroin, but if you smoked, like, why did you decide to get on the move after you smoked?
It affects everybody differently. A lot of addicts, you get to the point in the disease that you don't even really get that high anymore. You're just kind of trying to not get sick.
Right.
All right.
I mean, you still got stuff to do if you're functioning enough.
That's what we always hear. It's not about even getting high. It's just preventing going through all the sickness.
It seems like most people I know that did heroin were functioning. They had a job. They just did heroin.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. A lot of people that way.
Where meth, people disappear for 4 or 5 days.
Meth,
depending.
Doesn't seem as easy to hide. You know, but heroin, I know a lot, used to know a lot of cats that did heroin, and some of them it was obvious, but overwhelmingly, until they told you, you didn't know. I mean, it really did. They were a little off, but not like passing out of work or anything like that. And then there was one guy I used to work with, and they were going to fire him. I actually came to his defense. We had worked with this guy for like 2 years. He's our dishwasher. And if you work in restaurants, you know, like, if you have a dishwasher that is not going to quit, hold on to them. They are an asset, right? So anyway, his name was Jim. He didn't lock the bathroom door one day. One of our employees, that's before we opened the door, and he was shooting up between his toes. All right. And we kind of knew he was down on his luck, but he showed up every day, did a great job, right? No worries. So they went to the chef. The chef's like, man, I got to let him go. I'm like, dude, do not fire him. I'm like, we have a dishwasher. This is, again, that's like the American dream of home ownership. We've done it. We have a dishwasher that shows up every day. He's like, man, you can't shoot up at work. I'm like, then I know that. Tell him that. Tell him he can shoot up before he comes in. Mm-hmm. He can shoot up when he's done. Just tell him don't do it here, but please don't fire this guy. So they kept him for a while. We had him like another 9 months maybe. Okay. Before he finally quit. But we did realize at that point that every time we saw, because we did not know up until then, but we realized after that, every time we've probably ever seen this guy, he's high on heroin. But you know what? He was a great worker. So I'm like, why do we care? You're right. Don't do it in the bathroom at work. But otherwise, who cares?
Dude, I worked at a bar in Georgetown that's now closed, right? But this bar was so big and made so much money, some of the dudes had they hadn't bartended in years, but you would keep a Friday or Saturday night.
Right.
So there was 2 guys upstairs in what we called the club. And they were the best bartenders you ever met in your life, right? Just on fire. Everybody loved them. So finally, one day in the middle of the shift, I walk into the walk-in to get beer. Actually, they weren't doing Coke. They were doing like MDMA. And I was like, oh. Because I was like, oh, man, these customers love these dudes. But they were like cocktail, like flipping bottles, this and that.
And that's why. She go like, look, that's their business. They're doing a good job. Don't worry about it.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
I'm sure they did the other stuff, too.
Yeah, I was going to say part of the reason I came to the guy's defense, I'm like, everyone in the kitchen's high on cocaine. I mean, like, and we do it in the same bathroom that he's shooting up in. You just haven't caught it. And chef, who we buy the cocaine from, like, let's not be so judgy, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously, that's the thing. The chef was on coke. He knew the staff was on coke. We'd all do blow together, gave you the energy to get through the shift. Jim shoots up heroin, like, oh, that, that's against company policy.
Darn it, Jim.
Dude, we're smoking bong hits in the walk-in. We snort cocaine with you off of a cutting board, but Jim's out of line.
This
he's shooting heroin.
This conversation is making me realize what I forgot to pack. You always go out for it.
Oh, for your trip?
We're in, there's always one thing. Damn it. And I'm not going back home.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
Dollar bet.
No, I'm not.
No, me.
I don't want to lose $1.
I gotta go home. I can't go home. I gotta leave.
You're gonna leave for the weekend and not bring your party favors.
Nope.
It's a weekend, man.
I'm not doing it.
It's not like you gotta go to work.
Doesn't
your
matter.
Party favors.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm just driving out here.
I got $1.
No way.
Hello.
I-5 South is a bitch up there.
Well, people need to understand, too, is like we've done this show so long. I mean, that was a strange look Miles gave as Thrill and I were laying stories of working at bars and restaurants. Like, I wonder what he's going to say.
Yeah, I know. Same thing. I was like, I can't read that expression.
Damn it.
Now we know. Hello, Dakota. Welcome to the midroom.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hola.
So, just pretty much to the point, when I was in elementary school, they used to have us, like, line up in the single file line outside the cafeteria before lunch.
Yep.
And it was, like, right out in the sunshine. And one day I was standing there waiting for lunch, and I just fell asleep on my feet. And I apparently fell forward and hit an old steel drain pipe for the gutters and flattened it with my forehead.
God damn, buddy. Do you remember this?
Well, I remember waking up on the ground going, man, my head hurts. And then they took me to the doctor, and they were like, yeah, he's just got a really thick head. He's fine.
Damn. Boy, thanks, Doc.
So they're like, oh, no, he's good to go.
I don't think I've ever fallen asleep on my feet. I mean, I've been close. I've been super tired, but it's one of those things where I'll find a place to sit down.
Yeah, I'll crash for that.
But I don't think. Have you ever fallen asleep masturbating?
Never.
I fell asleep masturbating. I don't care that I fell asleep masturbating. I fell asleep because I woke up to the sound of my wife's voice going, "What are you doing?" And you kind of come to, like, my pants are up and my hand is still on my D, which is not flaccid. So I don't know how long I'd been asleep, and I'm just like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Just go to bed. I'm done.
Like, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to bed. But I mean,
I did it less than a year ago on a 3-day weekend. Like, got home Sunday night, and it's like, I'll just relax a little bit before I go to sleep.
Right.
But I mean, it's rare for me to fall asleep.
You fell asleep in the middle of it.
Well, you probably
I understand being done.
Well, if we're saying fall asleep.
I mean, I passed out,
all right,
but it's still the point you come to. And like I said, I didn't care other than the fact my wife didn't say anything more about it. It's very obvious what is happening. You know what I mean? Like, you're on the sofa with your penis in your hand and your pants are open and you're snoring. I can guess what you were doing before you fell asleep.
It's embarrassing because your wife caught you, but I'll tell you what, I didn't feel a lot of pride waking up myself in that situation.
No, you don't feel awesome one way or another, but I'm just like, oh, God damn it, man. But oddly, as a parent, your silver lining, I'm like, thank God it was her.
Yes.
Thank God it was her. It was my daughter like, Daddy, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the longest that you've fallen asleep?
The longest?
Yes. As far as you woke up, you didn't know what day it was. You weren't sure what time, whether the time was 6 at night or 6 a.m. in the morning.
It happened a lot more in my 20s because I drank a lot more in my 20s. So you pass out, fall asleep, whatever. But you do realize, and to your point,
especially in the winter months.
I was going to say, it's winter or early spring. Your clock just says 6:12. And you look outside, then the light could be
up or down.
Yeah. And you have no idea. And you'd err on the side of caution, jump out of bed, right, get dressed, and realize.
Have you ever done that and realized that
yes,
it was the wrong
a lot of
PM,
times.
AM?
I have not done it recently.
I've done that,
but I've done it a lot of times. I've never gone to work, but I did call my boss once to tell him I'm running late. My boss was like, bro, because I'm working at restaurants at that time. So, like, one of our top callers, I started at 2. I'm looking at the clock. It's like 2:30, and I freak out. Great, it's dark outside. I'm still not piecing it together. Call the boss. I'm like, Jesus, man, I'm running late. He kind of let me finish, and he goes, it's 2:30 a.m. I'm like, oh, God, I'm sorry.
My bad.
Yep.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
I think the first year I went to Burning Man with just one other buddy. We got back, forget which day of the week it was. Then we had to get up pretty early the next day and like clean out the van, like really clean out this van we'd rented. But that night I went to sleep. I mean, I feel like I almost slept like a day. Like got up, ate maybe like a sandwich and went back to bed.
Mm-hmm. I think I've slept 28 hours.
Jesus.
Yep, 28 hours straight.
Why? Alcohol, medical, just tired?
Actually, to be honest with you, it was Order of the Arrow. So when I got into Order of the Arrow in Boy Scouts, it was 2 nights.
I hate that I asked now.
Out in the middle of the woods, right? But you only got like a couple matches. You had minimal supplies.
Oh, they give you nothing.
They don't give you crap. But you got to stay out there for 2 nights, and you got to figure out how to get the hell out of there, right? So the first night, I didn't know where I was. It was pitch black. I did remotely know the area, not very well. So I kind of stayed put, but I stayed awake all night because I kept hearing stuff, and I was just trying to get my bearings. And every once in a while, the sky would open up, and I could get some moonlight. So I did a little searching around just to figure out where I was. I'd go back to the little cave thing that I kind of found. It was just like an inlet, on the side of a cliff. But I was afraid because there were all these cliffs. I was afraid I was going to just walk off one when it got dark. So then the second night I stayed up all night again because I found a better place and I made it.
How old
shelter.
are you of Order and Arrow?
I'm about
16,
15. Yeah, 15.
Okay, all right.
And then the second night I stayed up the entire time, and then I started hiking, and then the hike out was about 5 to 6 miles. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I got back there, then I took a car ride home. I ate something and I fell asleep, and I woke up a day and a half later because I'd been up for like 3 days, basically.
Damn.
That's fair.
I went to a Boy Scout summer camp. They're a week-long summer camp, and this one in particular that we were going to go to, they actually contacted your troop a little while beforehand, and the scout that basically leads the troop, that's called the senior patrol leader, and they recommend that the senior patrol leader of your troop goes up a week beforehand so they can go out and they can get all their merit badges and they get the lay of the land of all that stuff, so that the week that your troop is there, they can focus on more leadership aspects and just leading your troop as opposed to doing what everybody else is doing, getting merit badges, right? So I went up there the week beforehand, and I was there the entire time. I crushed through a ton of merit badges. The second week, I didn't worry a doggone bit about leadership. I just kept on crushing some more merit badges. But I was so exhausted, and I had actually made friends over at the gun range over there that when I had some downtime, like during a lunch or whatever, I just sat over there, just talked with all the people that were there, just hung out, and I just eventually put my head down, and I literally fell asleep on an active gun range.
At a gun range?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Few things are louder. Right. I mean,
Yeah. They're going off, like the shotgun shells are going off just a couple blocks down over there. The 22s are popping off all the time. I woke up in a puddle of drool.
It's a sign that you needed to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
If you fall asleep at an active gun range, like, homeboy's tired.
That's pretty impressive.
I was saying the worst of falling asleep, and again, it was passing out more than it was falling asleep, but slept through the night. This chick I'm dating back in the day, early 20s. We're doing our thing. When I wake up, it is the next morning and I have to go to work. But I wake up, I realize what time it is. But instead of pulling my head off of a pillow, I pull my head off of a vagina. You can guess. She's passed out. I'm passed out. Well, back at that time, I was still a little tough to pubic hair. But this thing, it was like indented on my forehead. So when I go to work, right, because I'm not saying anything. I get to work. Basically, it's like I wake up. I have enough time to get my ass together and get to work. I get to work, walking in the kitchen. I don't realize this mark is on my forehead at the time, right? So my buddy's like, hey, man. He's like, what is that? I'm like, what is what? You know, and I can't really feel it. He's like, look, dude, it's weird. It's like someone punched you with an SOS pad. You know, I'm like, what? So I walk in and I'm like, oh my God, I have a pubic hair indentation on my forehead because I fell asleep. I mean, just face down in it, man. So I came out and I told him, I said, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I was doing a little humming, meow, meow. I passed out, dude. Woke up this morning and that's basically her pubic hair has pressed this fossilized edition of her into my forehead. Dude, it was there for like an hour. And then once I knew it was there, I couldn't stop going into the bathroom, right?
Trying to rub it
away. Like, God damn it.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Marvell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
I actually heard two things. My son actually did get his eagle. He actually said he would get his eagle.
How old was it when he got it, unlike Miles?
He actually, because of COVID and everything, the extensions, he's 18.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. We just had his eagle ceremony last Wednesday. Him and one of his friends had their eagle ceremony together.
Oh, yeah. Miles gave us some love.
Yeah, we did. You're down there at University Place, right?
Yes, sir. Troop 438.
There you go.
And when they do the eagle ceremony, is it like high school graduation where a bunch of people are there, or is it you've earned it, so this celebration's for you?
Yeah, Hooters girls. It's crazy.
2 or 3 other people.
No,
it's wild, man.
It's you earned it, your celebration, and, they do the whole ceremony for you, plan it,
and once you're 18, at the end, you have to get done with the Boy Scout stuff. They take you to the strip club.
That's called the spread Eagle Scout.
Yeah, the thing was, like how you guys were talking about Order of the Arrow, my boys are also doing Ordeal tonight.
That'll be a great night for that, man. They're going to get poured on.
I know, right?
They're going to hate it.
I'm going to be with them.
You're going to hate it.
Well, it's worse as a parent. I mean, at least the kid, whether it's soccer game, graduate, they have this very vested interest in what's going on. They can ignore it. When you're a parent just standing there my flask is empty. It's still raining on me.
Just find a place to keep some kindling dry, man, and make sure the matches stay dry because you're going to need them.
I know. They said bring something to get muddy.
Good times. So where and when did you fall asleep?
I was in, it was my junior year in high school. I was in JRTC. We were doing pass and review, so it was basically our final formation march. And we were practicing, and we were at attention. I fell asleep at attention. Nobody noticed until we started marching. And I was the only one standing there. In front of my entire wing.
Were you asleep standing up?
Snoring.
Ooh.
I was at attention asleep.
That is amazing.
I can't believe the body can actually do that.
I'm falling asleep, still working, and nobody noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I have a real good habit of doing that.
Do you think you have some kind of narcolepsy?
No.
A functional narcoleptic?
My wife says I'm a cat. If I'm chilling and doing nothing, I'll go to sleep. But if I'm doing something, I can stay up for 36 hours.
So how many times will you just nap during the day if you could?
Maybe once.
All right. So it's not all right. Okay. I just didn't know if it was every 3 hours you could just pass out for 10 minutes and wake back up.
I was never a nap guy. Always thought it was weird that my parents would nap every weekend. And now that I'm a parent, I realize at least one point during the weekend, I've crashed for about 20 minutes on the sofa.
They were just trying to have sex.
Yeah, maybe it was
that was nap time in my house.
Sometimes I feel like I
go
talk
cut the
about
grass. We're having nap time.
I feel like I talk about naps more than I take them.
I never talk about them, and I take them every goddamn weekend. I never mean to. There's just you do whatever you got to do in the morning, early afternoon. At some point, you sit down, and I'm probably thinking to myself, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my day. Dad, are you sleeping? Was I snoring? Yeah. Yeah, well, why'd you wake me up?
Because this movie's not doing anything for me. And we're in the movie theater.
You ever wake yourself up from a snore?
Yeah, hey.
Dad, you slept through the entire movie. I was like, I know, it was great.
The hell was that sound?
I paid $15 to go to sleep for 2 hours in peace. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Where and when did you fall asleep? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.